Hello, welcome to another macro video. I'm looking at my latest creation, ListOfFound, a macro that has a range of applications and a growing range, and I've added some extra features. So let's get on and have a look what we've got. The earlier video was called Powerful New Search Tool, and you can have a look at that if you wanted. But the more applications we've got now and more features we're going to look at today means that I'm really quite pleased with it, as it were. So in this video I'll revise the basic features. So there's general file searching, and then we can limit that by using certain characters, hash to do a case sensitive, greater than to give us the whole word search, and the quote, which is to look for a phrase as opposed to two individual words. And we look at the its application. Where it first started was the macro menu, and references and citations is another powerful one. And then the new features are going to be where you have got a book in multiple files and you've combined all the chapters together and produced an all text file and analysed it and so on. Then later on you may want to search for things in the book and need to know which chapters they're in. That's fine. ListOfFound can do that for you. I've also been doing some Bible study, and the ListOfFound can be applied to finding words within the New Testament or the whole Bible, and so I've got a quick application of that. And if you've got lists of words, it's more convenient. There's an added feature to make it more convenient for lists, creating lists of lists. Okay, what macros am I using? Well, obviously ListOfFound. That creates the list, and then if you want to go back from the list to the original document, you use find same place, and that will take you back to where that particular paragraph appears. And it's also useful to know that you can use find same place back, which searches in the reverse order through any open files, which sometimes speeds it up, especially when you've got several big files open at the time. Okay, so let's look at the basic features. Well, obviously you can search for a single word, but the whole idea of it is that you can it's a powerful tool to be able to search for two words, look for this and that in the same paragraph. So in a fiction book you might want to look for Jenny and Harry. Then if you're looking at citations, you're looking for a date or a year rather, and an author. So that's the sort of thing. As I said, we can put limitations on that. We've got case sensitive, for which we use the hash symbol. So that would then find Smith with a capital S, but it wouldn't find the lowercase version. Whole words. Okay, so if you were looking for Smithson, it would find that, but not Smith, because it's not a whole word. Looking for phrases, we use the quote sign, double quote. So if you're looking for Janet and John, that's fine, but we don't. If we want not just any Janet with any John, but the actual phrase Janet met John, and that's what that's for. Okay, so let's do some demonstrating. So first of all, we're going to need a list of macros so you can see it happening. Okay, so let's have a look at the general thing. So general searching, suppose we're looking for rabbit hole, we can click in rabbit, shift click in hole, run the macro, and it just checks to see how many there are, and if there are quite a lot it warns you that there are quite a lot, but that's up to you to decide. We say yes, let's go ahead. So it finds them all and highlights them. Added feature is you can use underlining, you can use color, and you can use highlight, and that's set up at the beginning of the macro. So it has lots of things. I mean, it even finds rabbit hole because that's two it treats them as two words, and there's no limitation. You've got the endnotes and footnotes. If the word or words rather occur in the notes, then it pulls those out as well. Okay, so let's get rid of that one. Let's go back to here. Let's try the what are we doing? Oh yes, I was just gonna, I forgot. Okay, so let's do it again. Once you've got the bit you want, then you can use find same place to jump back to where it was, and that was where the word rabbit hole was. Okay, so next thing to look at is the case sensitivity. So if you do run the macro and then move the cursor right to deselect, put in a hash and run it, and it's now telling you it's doing case sensitive. Okay, so it's only found the ones with capital letters, and so in the end notes, it's the hole and rabbits aren't there, but the rabbit hole is. And then we can try do it again, cursor right, greater than. This is now a whole word search, so it finds the whole words, but it didn't find the rabbit hole because that wasn't that's not individual whole words. And then finally, of these limitations, if we do it again, and this time do a quote, use the double quote symbol, then you're only going to get where rabbit and hole are together there, and not others. Okay, that's good. How are we doing? Right, let's go to citations. Let's get rid of that. Citations, please. There we go. Okay, so this is well, it's obfuscated, so you can't read it. But let's go to the references. So we're interested in Blau 1984. Click, and then run the macro, and then there we go. So we've got the citation. Well, one citation there, another citation there, and here's the original reference. So that's quite useful, quick and easy. Let's just go and look at the end here. Suppose we are interested in different dates. So if I do wrench and 1903, so run that. But suppose I'm wanting any references in the sort of 90s generally. So I can delete the 3 and the 9 if I need. So it's just going to look for 19, wrench and 19. So I've now got all sorts of different ones. So like got wrench and Schneider there. So I can go down and look at the through this list to find the Schneider ones, and we're down there to the original reference there. And obviously then if we want to go and have a look at that, we skip back to the original document with find same place. How are we doing? Get rid of that one. Right, what's next? Macro menu. Okay, so if we're looking for, say, we want to add some comments, so we want a macro for that, then we run the macro, this macro. There are a lot of them, but because you're only going to display paragraphs with both and comment in it, add rather, then there's only a relatively small number, and you can look up those. Good. So that's a useful application. Get rid of that one. Next we're going to have a look at list searching. So suppose we're looking for geese, so we can find the geese in this bird list. The downside here is that they're all spaced out, which probably isn't ideal, especially if there are a lot of finds. So when we do it again, if we put an exclamation mark in, that's telling it to only list it as without the spaces between the paragraphs. So we could do, suppose we wanted, so I can just run the macro and type red. So if I get any birds that are red, oops, I forgot to put the exclamation mark in. Well, I'm going to use this one a lot, so what I can do is go to the macro itself, and at the beginning here I've got list files. So these are the files that where I don't want them spaced out. So if I put bird list on there and add a comma, make sure they're all spaced out with commas. Now let's try it again, get rid of that one. So let's try red, there are 61, and there they are, all nicely not spaced out. Okay, so nearly there. Let's get rid of the birds. What have we got next? We have got some Bible searches. So I was looking at the New Testament here. If I'm trying to find Nicodemus, where he occurs, so let's run the macro, and what it does is to quote where they appear, quote the verses where he appears, but it puts them in. It shows you which chapters it occurs in. So that's really quite helpful, because you can just run this for looking for some word or other, and then you know that there are 3 references there in John 3 and so on. So, and I did one for I'm not going to do it now because it took about half a minute to generate it, but I did one for the whole of the Bible, which is about 750,000 words. Took about a half a minute to find all occurrences where Joseph had a dream, and so you end up with the Old Testament Joseph and his dreams, and then the New Testament Joseph and his dreams. So there we go. Anything else? Yep. Okay, so this next one is, or this last one rather, is where we have used multi-file text to haul together the text of all the chapters of a book, and they're in here. So if we go down through, you can see we've got the different chapters where things occur. They're all joined together in one. So if we're looking for a particular, suppose I've got a problem with a reference for Beatty, and maybe I need to change the spelling or something, I need to know where it occurs in the book. So if I type it in, run the macro, then I can see which chapters it occurs in, so I don't have to load them all, only those 3 chapters. And when I've got them, obviously I can use find same place to get across to where BT occurs. There it is. But sorry, this is back in the overall text. But obviously, when I've loaded up the chapter file, then it'll be the right place in the chapter. Right. Well, I think that's about it. I haven't got any more demonstrations, have I here? Nope. That's your lot. So I hope you found that useful. I'm certainly really enjoying using it, and thanks for watching. All right, bye now.